Because like I said, y'all, you know, is it true that politicians lie? Yes. Is it true that people lie? Yes. But seldom will you come across somebody who lies to the degree and to the level of George Santos. And he's still a very young man. He's still such a young man. He's a few years older than me. I'm 30 years old. You know what I'm saying? My man's is 34. He had his whole career ahead of him. And one has to ask, could he have won this election if he didn't lie? Probably not. I mean, let's be serious. Probably not. I mean, because the person that he is underneath all of, because again, like I said before, you know, politicians lie about when I get in office, I'm going to lower your taxes. I'm going to, you know, help to strengthen unions. I'm going to improve the healthcare system. That's the normal shit that politicians lie about. This guy lied about who his parents were, his grandparents, where he went to school, where he worked. He lied about verifiable things that pretty much anybody could find. And that's one of the beautiful things about modern times is, you know, you can find out, you know, it's a beautiful thing and a scary thing at the same time. You can find out pretty much anything about anybody, pretty much, especially if they have any type of notoriety, if they got any kind of money, if they have any type of fame. You can go online and look up the securities exchange information for acquisitions that they've been a part of. You can look up information on how much money has been, you know, invested into their companies, who invested that money. Because of the Freedom of Information Act, the federal government has to give you information of court cases and things along those lines once that info has been like declassified and stuff. You can look up people's criminal records. You can look up pretty much anything about people, literally. And then for the information that you don't necessarily have direct access to online, you can get private investigators to go look up people and ask people questions. So it's just like, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? But yeah, you know, and again, it's like this, all of these things can be verified. So again, typically people lie about like actions they're going to take in the future, because that's a bit more difficult to catch somebody red-handed on until they don't follow through with it. You know what I'm saying? And that's why people, you know, like politicians, when people run for office, that's why we look at, you know, their history in office. What have they voted for and against? You know, who have they worked for? Like, were they lobbyists in things along those lines? Stuff like that. Exactly. Taxes. You can look up people's tax information. You can find pretty much anything about anybody, which also goes to show that, you know, there's no way that George Santos made it as far as he did in the election without anybody picking up on what was going on. I mean, come on. But today, we are not here to gripe and moan about morals and ethics. That's a good thing to gripe and moan about. I'm not saying that you shouldn't gripe and moan about people when they are immoral and unethical. However, we've done that enough. And today we're just going to keep making fun of the guy. You know, that's what we're here to do. You know, so let's have a good time. So let's check out what my man's ex used to talk about him. You know what I'm saying? George Santos. We will read into the history of those he was once frisky with and see what they have to say. Rep-elect George Santos has admitted to fabricating major parts of his life story. You don't say. So let's get into what his ex-boyfriend said. Basically that he lied about the same stuff, but we're going to read it straight from the horse's mouth. All right, so he's scheduled to talk on the floor of the House of Representatives tomorrow, so you know we're going to be talking about that. He's admitted to fabricating significant parts of his life, and we remember when he was on air with Tulsi Gabbard, and he was like, I mean, look, Joe Biden lies too. You know, Democrats, they lie, and do the people who vote for them have no shame? It's like, oh, when you don't have a defense, you know, you just point the finger at other people. Keep that in mind. So my man, like I said, he's 34. So his ex, Pedro Villarva, who met Santos in 2014, dated the embattled politician for a few months before they moved in together, per the Times. So this is what he said. Okay, here we go. Villarva said that Santos, elected in November to represent a Long Island district, who he found charming and sweet, rarely contributed to the bills. We gonna get into the Jews now. He used to say he would get money from Citigroup. He was an investor. One day it was one thing. One day it's another thing. He never actually went to work. Yeah, bro. I know all the hot people, bro. I know all the rich people, all the investors, but I'm just on the couch and not contributing to the bills. But I'll get there. Don't worry about that. Just keep on paying it. Just keep paying it forward. Keep on having compassion. All right. Now, Citigroup told the Times it has no record of Santos ever working there, obviously. And then we know Santos said his grandparents died in the Holocaust. He said his parents were like Polish immigrants or some shit like that. Really, his mom's from Brazil. You look at the guy, first thing you're like, okay, either this guy's like Central American or he's some type of South American, some type of Latino. Like, and he's like, yeah, bro, my parents were like totally white, like Polish, like sparkling, like, and this dude, he definitely has issues. He has serious issues. Okay, so in 2015, Villarva said that Santos surprised him with plane tickets to Hawaii. However, the tickets did not exist. The newspaper reported that a similar time, Villarva noticed that his cell phone had gone missing. He said he believed that Santos stole it and pawned it. After these incidents, Villarva told the newspaper that he searched Santos's name online and discovered that Brazilian police wanted him. He was wanted in Brazil. In 2008, the Times reported that Santos, then 19, was accused of stealing a checkbook of the man his mother was caring for. Oh, that's low. Oh, that's low. You're going to take a checkbook from a man who can't even, I don't know what was going on, but he was being cared for. So the man probably couldn't get out of bed. But again, this is the type of person we're dealing with. And then he said, he was like, I mean, I'm ready to, go on about with my term. I'm ready to serve my term, and I'm ready to be forthcoming with the American people. Like, oh, okay. Yeah. You've never been forthcoming in your life, but all of a sudden you're going to hit a 180. And then, no. It's like the boyfriend who just, he's throwing rocks at the girlfriend's window, playing a guitar, you know what I'm saying? With the boom box, she keeps like dumping water at him, telling him to get a life, throwing all this stuff out. And he's like, oh, I don't have anywhere to go. I promise I'll change. I know I said I'll change 50 times, but like, that's George Santos. And that's why I said today, we're not here to bemoan his lack of morals and his lack of efficacy. We are here to laugh at this motherfucker. Indeed, it is a new year, and we're going to start this motherfucker off right. Oh, a little splash. Okay, so this revelation, okay, hold on. Citing Brazilian court records, the newspaper said that Santos used the checkbook to make a fraudulent purchases. 2 years later, the Times said he confessed to the crime and was charged, but the case remains unresolved. This revelation was the breaking point for Santos's ex-boyfriend. I woke up in the morning and I packed my stuff, all in trash bags, and I called my father and I left. Oh, man. Yeah, so again, it's like the more you look at this guy, as far back as you can go, he just does his thing. He just does his thing. But yeah, that was another look at my man Santos. He can't help himself. He absolutely can't help himself. I think he should be censored and impeached. Well, yeah, they do. They should go work a minimum wage job. They should do a lot of things. And I mean, unless he's found guilty for stuff like, fraud with money, which I'm sure won't be that difficult to find. That's the type of stuff that'll get him kicked out of office. Not necessarily, oh, you said you were someone that you weren't. Like, that's going to hold less weight than like if they find that he was using campaign funds to like buy himself X, Y, and Z, which someone like him absolutely 100% would do. Who are we kidding? So either way, I mean, even if let's say that he did go into so of course he's a sociopath. Dude's out of his mind. Shit, we're lucky he's not violent. Someone like him, he doesn't appear. I don't think he's really violent, because if he was really violent, he'd likely be in jail or prison. But hell yeah, he's a sociopath. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing like that. We all tell white lies here and there. Like if you 25 minutes away, you text somebody and be like, hey, I'll be there in 5 minutes, knowing good and damn well you're gonna take a half hour to get there. That's the type of shit that we lie about on a daily basis, or perhaps something a little bit more serious. But again, we tend not to lie about shit like, oh, my parents are, my dad's the prince of Thailand and my mom's the queen of like, oh, you can't look that up. Like, motherfuckers can't just go, hey, yes, he's crazy. He is out of his motherfucking mind. And then he sat up there, and Tulsi Gabbard, who also is a liar herself, she's sitting up there. Tulsi Gabbard went from being a progressive to working on Fox News. you know, because you know, as things go, you know, as those things tend to go, you know, as one does. You know, you go from doing that shit, and then all of a sudden, you George Santos, he on there like, no, I'm just ready to be forthcoming. Like, no, you're not. But we finna take another hit.